Welcome back to the Multimedia Garage. I'm Robert Haas, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the 1955 Chevy build that we're doing using the American Autowire full harness. And as we mentioned in the last video, the American Autowire system is very compatible with aftermarket parts, and a lot of us use non-factory original stuff when we do these. So I'm going to show you some of the things that we do. This car uses an MSD ignition system, and we like to build it where you can't really see it. So we'll pan over here. We'll take a little look back behind that fender. That's where we're over in there is where we're mounting our MSD. See it back in the corner there. It's out of the way. On the other side of the car, in the same location, you'll find the mega fuse block that is actually part of the American Autowire system. We like hanging things like that out of the way. So the way we were able to accomplish that is we brought the electrical up off of the starter along the bottom of the motor and through the wheel, the inner fender well, and then we used mounts, and we use this blister along here, and that's where we're hanging the wires, and then we penetrate back out the back of it. So it's just a way to hide the wiring and just make your installation very sanitary. Okay, so we have done a battery relocation on this build. We're running a battery in the trunk, and I want to give some information on that. Using a remote battery, one of the most important components of that is to seal your battery. It's in the compartment with the passengers, therefore there's noxious gases that are emitted from batteries, and we want to protect the occupants. So use a sealed battery box and follow the instructions with them. I'll show you a couple of the elements of that. In the battery box itself, you'll see there's this big clear hose. That's actually a vent, and it goes down through the floor of the car and vents to the exterior. And this is very important that we illustrate this, because a lot of people think that just by sealing it in a box they have done the right thing. But this will build up with gas. You want to give it a vent, and that's a very safe way to do it. Run it long enough that you can bring it all the way up and make a U-turn with it, where it goes back down into the box. Okay? The box seals and is bolted down. Please follow that. Our main battery cable, we'll walk up here and we'll take a look at this. The 55, 56, and 57 Chevy, we have this wonderful little element, this little trough that's covered by a steel plate. It's an ideal location to run a heavy battery cable. As you can see, this car uses a very heavy battery cable. Okay, this is a single aught, and it's for welding basically, but it works quite well for this, and it will be very well protected. So these are some of the elements that are used when you're using non-factory parts with your builds that the American Autowire harness is actually designed to use and incorporate. At the beginning of the next video, we're going to show you the actual completion of how everything is actually set up under the dash, including an interface with the vintage air air conditioning system that's in this car that replaces the stock heater. So as you can see with the vintage air system in the car, the wiring is actually not in the way at all. They both work quite well together. And when you do a Tri-5 Chevrolet and you are reluctant to use a vintage air system, I can assure you it's the easiest system to put into one of these cars. So thanks for viewing us today, and we will be back with you in a few days.